Gang, we've got 5 bombshells coming out of Special Counsel John Durham's latest filing, and we're going to see for ourselves that things are more shocking than we could have imagined. Make sure to stick with me at the very end of this video when I'll reveal precisely the corruption that has infested the FBI and which explains exactly why they're acting so desperately. You're not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone. It's me, Dr. Steve, your Patriot Professor, here to help you to think better so you can feel better in these crazy and insane and turbulent times. So if you haven't done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. And gang, tomorrow is it. Thursday, September 15th. Our brand new documentary detailing the fall of globalism and the rise of patriotism is officially streaming on demand. And so you literally only have hours to take advantage not only of our huge discount price for the movies, but this is also your last chance to secure your spot to join me as we together celebrate the premiere of our live stream tomorrow night. So don't wait. Make sure to click on that link below or go to the returnoftheamericanpatriot.com. Watch it with me or on demand for a super discounted price. And I can't wait to see you online Thursday night. All right, gang, let's dive right in here. You know, in the midst of all of this insanity with the epidemic of FBI raids that we've been seeing of late, there's another reason for the feds to be panicking here, and it goes way beyond their role in deliberately attempting to, cover up the whole Hunter Biden laptop or do their best to interfere with the midterms by trying to intimidate ultra-MAGA leaders and the like. They more and more have the investigation of Special Counsel John Durham to contend with. The Federalist is reporting that a Virginia federal court just the other day unsealed Durham's latest filing. It's a filing that seeks a ruling from the court on the admissibility of various evidence regarding the upcoming trial of Igor Danchenko. Danchenko is being charged with lying to the FBI about his work on the dossier, the now infamous Russian dossier that provided salacious details of a trip that Trump supposedly took to Russia several years back that Putin was using to blackmail then candidate Trump and subsequently President Trump. Danchenko is actually being charged with 5 counts of lying to the FBI about the sources he used for fabricating the dossier that he delivered to the former British spy Christopher Steele, who put the dossier together and sold it to Hillary Clinton as opposition research against Trump, all right? As I understand it, Steele knowingly hired Danchenko to put together fraudulent accusations against Trump for crimes he obviously didn't commit. And according to Greg Jarrett over at Fox News, the money that Steele got to finance the fabricated dossier came directly from the Clinton campaign in a deliberate effort to tie Donald Trump to Russian interference in the election. Well, now, these filings have been made public. They're revealing a number of bombshells that actually account for precisely why the FBI and the DOJ have gotten so desperate of late. Bombshell number 1. The FBI originally investigated Danchenko for ties with Russian intelligence. Now, it's very, very interesting, and it sets the stage for the second bombshell, okay? According to this write-up by the Federalist, FBI agents were called in to investigate Danchenko back in 2010 or so after they learned that he was looking to purchase classified information from his co-workers. He was employed at a prominent think tank in D.C., and Danchenko apparently engaged 2 co-workers to see if they had access to classified information, and he told them that he had contacts, presumably Russian intelligence officers, who would pay big money for that kind of information. Now, upon investigation, the FBI found that Danchenko was indeed in contact with Russian intelligence agencies, but apparently the investigation stopped when the FBI wrongly concluded that Danchenko had left the country. Now, that sets up for bombshell number 2. The FBI paid for Russian disinformation to target Trump. Now, this is where things take a fascinating and sinister turn. According to the court filing by Durham, in March 2017, so this is 5 or 6 years after their initial investigation of this guy, the FBI didn't just learn about Christopher Steele's dossier against Trump. They also discovered that it was this guy, Danchenko. He was actually Steele's primary source for all the fabricated stories that were made up about Trump. Now, you would think, of course, that the FBI, upon this discovery, would reopen their investigation to Danchenko. But now with a focus on his feeding Christopher Steele a bunch of fabricated Russian disinformation aimed deliberately at undermining a free and fair presidential election. You would think, right? But that's not what the FBI did. Instead, the FBI actually signed up Danchenko as a paid informant, a CHS, a confidential human source, knowing that he would be feeding them lies. The same kind of lies he was feeding Christopher Steele that the FBI knew about. And of course, this is all happening while we're learning that the top brass at the FBI were using the fraudulent Steele dossier, which again, they knew was fake. They were using it to obtain FISA warrants to spy against Trump. So the FBI actually paid for Danchenko to continue to feed them Russian disinformation in order to frame the president for colluding with Russia. It's worse than we thought. The very fellow who's responsible for all of those disgusting, salacious lies about Trump contained in that fabricated dossier was a paid informant by the FBI. Your tax dollars paid him to frame our president. Bombshell number 3, Hillary paid for Russian disinformation. Now, I know many of us already know this, but this filing adds one more layer of detail to all of this. We now know Christopher Steele, who put the dossier together, sold it to the Hillary Clinton campaign as opposition research against Trump. And we also know, according to CIA documents, that Hillary Clinton personally approved of this devious operation. But now with this latest filing, if you can believe it, we now know that it was Hillary who was paying through Christopher Steele. It was Hillary who was the one who was actually paying a suspected Russian agent based on the FBI's investigation of Danchenko back in 2010. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. The Clinton campaign is accusing Trump of colluding with Russian agents to interfere with the 2016 election, right? We had a freaking 3-year investigation to the tune of tens of millions of dollars via bumbling Bob Mueller, who didn't even know what was in the report when all was said and done, for heaven's sake. We got the Clinton machine, and they're clapping seals in the lamestream media, pushing this utter nonsense that Trump colluded with Russian intelligence agents to interfere with the 2016 election. And it was freaking Hillary herself who was paying, who was buying off someone who the FBI previously investigated as a freaking Russian agent, precisely in order to interfere with the election. I'm speechless. I don't know what to say. I'm flabbergasted. This is the most amazing story of political intrigue in a generation. It's right there, right underneath the lamestream media's snarling noses. And they can't see it. They refuse to see it. This should be on the front pages of every single newspaper in the nation. I mean, wow. Bombshell number 4, corruption in the FBI paid for Russian disinformation. Now, this is just an extension of what we covered earlier. There's no two ways about this. But when it comes to the FBI, we're dealing with both corruption and incompetence at the heart of this agency. The incompetence was demonstrated in the fact that the FBI closed an investigation into Danchenko because they wrongly thought he left the country. The corruption was then demonstrated with the FBI knowingly paying Danchenko as an informant, even though they knew what he was peddling them was a bunch of Russian disinformation. And by the way, no wonder why the FBI is such experts in Russian disinformation. It's what they themselves are actually peddling. And for them, it didn't matter because it was all for a good cause, to get rid of Trump. Now, before we get into bombshell number 5, I want you to know that with lockdowns always a threat from the bumbling Biden administration, my good friend Josh Zaglowski, co-founder of ERC Specialists, is making sure that you and your business can thrive. His business, ERC Specialists, is a specialty payroll company exclusively dedicated to understanding and maximizing the CARES Act Employee Retention Credit. That's what ERC stands for, Employee Retention Credit, for small businesses affected negatively by shutdowns. So if you're a small business owner looking to get up to $26,000 $1,000 per employee back from the incompetent, bumbling Biden administration. Click on that link in the description below to see if you qualify today. This is an absolutely amazing opportunity for you. All right, bombshell number 5. The FBI is arguing they were duped. That's the story they're using to cover this all up. They're claiming that they were lied to by Danchenko. In fact, that's exactly what Christopher Steele is arguing as well. When all is said and done, the FBI's defense in all of this is this. Well, it was all just one big misunderstanding. Nothing more. Nothing to see here. Please move on and allow us to continue our important work of defending American justice. We'll certainly be keeping our eyes on how things develop here, but there appears little question. This latest filing has exposed the fact that corruption in the FBI and the Democratic Party may indeed be deeper than any of us imagined. As always, make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. You will definitely want to check out my latest video on the desperate FBI raiding Mike Lindell as the Biden regime panics. You're not going to want to miss it. So make sure to click on that link, and I will see you over there. God bless.